bafflingly awful decisions here. Now they have fully opened Pandora's box. They have unleashed the plagues out there, just misery. It's pandemonium. It's crazy because it's like Bricks and Minifigs is a Voltorb whose only move is self-destruct, and they are spamming that bitch. They are just finding every possible angle to ruin their reputation. If corporate ass fuckage was a sport, Bricks and Minifigs would be Michael Jordan.
Episode 3 is finally finished after crazy all-nighters and basically destroying my health. But I can't post it or I will go to jail. And not only that, I will also immediately lose my lawsuit of $300,000, and the GoFundMe we made for Brian will go straight to this mystery company that I am no longer allowed to talk about.
All of us are still trying to piece together
Hello. Hey, thanks. How you doing? Yeah, I'm back from holiday. I was over in Germany. Buying a new Steinway. Deutschland, yeah, home of the Beethoven, home of the Mozart. Unfortunately, I never met either of them, and I didn't get a new piano. Whatever, close enough. Same thing. If Hitler was Germany, but I did learn a lot of cool stuff about my family. Turns out that they were a big deal over in Germany. At least before the war and during the wars. I went to a place called Essen, which means eat in German. So I thought that was cool. Felt very close to my heart, my stomach. The food was probably one of the worst bits, actually, annoyingly. It was, and the water. I really missed the nice Scottish water. There was a lot of ice cream shops and bars and kebab places, doner. So we went to Essen. We went to, well, we stayed in Duisburg because that's where the archive is, the state archive. So we had to look through some of what we suspected was our family's wills. Gerecht, I think it's called in German. So we had a look at some German Gereichts. And then we got, Gemini helped quite a lot with it. Because it's all handwritten in old style German that even German people today can't really read. and found out that... Let me show you. I need to try and get some photos. Let's see. It's interesting because the family were closely linked with Belgium, Germany, and England, all just before the war. We had German diplomats in London who were in a relationship with our grandmother, who was a Protestant and married a Christian. There's a lot of contention. So here we go. So this is where we went to. Here's one of the graves we saw. So we found this grave on Wiki when we searched for Waldhausen family graves, something like that. And it turns out, well, we saw this a few years ago, and we weren't sure if it had anything to do with us. But one of the people here has the same name as my great-great-granddad, or great-granddad? Great-great-granddad. So there could have been a link, but we weren't sure, so we went here first. We decided to go on a Saturday because it was cheaper flights. So the records office wasn't open on Saturday. Yeah, that's what my dad tried to do. Unfortunately, because his grandfather was English and his grandmother was German, he can't get it. But anyway, so we flew there on Saturday to go to the records office. Obviously, it wasn't open on Saturday. It wasn't open on Sunday, and it was Pentecost on Monday, so it wasn't open on Monday. So we didn't really know who these people were until Tuesday. And then it turns out that it's, yeah, our great-great-granddad and great-great-great-granddad. So that's pretty cool. So this guy here, Christian Waldhausen. And then some other people checking out the grave. And then we saw this Krupp grave just opposite. So this guy here, his name's Alfred Krupp. He was nicknamed the Cannon King. So he built quite a lot of the weapons, or his family built quite a lot of the weapons for the wars. Yeah, very rich people. It turns out war pays. So they built, I don't know if you've heard of the Big Bertha. But they built Big Bertha. The gun that bombed Paris and Belgium, I think. So it turns out that my family, those Waldhausens, they had some coal mines and they had some banking business. So they were quite intermingled with the groups. And they were supposedly their bankers, and I guess they supplied steel and stuff for the weapons. So that was interesting. Yeah, well. So we've got, so it turns out my great-great-granddad, he had 5 other siblings that's on this grave. And there was one, the youngest brother was the one that survived. Very suspicious, but so he so yeah, out of 6 siblings, there was 3 brothers, and 2 of the older brothers died after they had kids, and they died before the father. So Uncle Hugo, the youngest son, he ended up inheriting everything. So he got the family business, and all of the gold, and all of the mines, and all of the banking. Yeah. But he was, so we saw the will, the legal document, the Gerecht. And he was quite aggressive. He was quite legally aggressive with the way he claimed ownership over the estate and the businesses, and how he wrote off the rest of the siblings. Yeah. And then as we were wandering around looking for things to do, we saw a sign. We saw a sign called Waldhausen Park. So this is the name of the family. So we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. So we walked down the street and then found that there's 2 piano shops right on Waldhausen Park. So we were planning on going back and checking out the pianos that are... So this was the Sunday, so it wasn't open. I know. Nowhere else we saw piano shops apart from on the street that's named after our family. So it must be. Can't. It's proven now. Proven. Unfortunately, yeah, I didn't get a chance to go back. Next time. And it turns out our park still exists. Where can you see it? Here. Yeah, it's built under a bypass. There's graffiti on it and everything. It's a little bit of a rough area. But it's still a park, so that's kind of cool. What else did we see? We saw a lot of churches. This is Waldhausen Street, where the university is built. This is Cologne. The cathedral in Cologne. Yeah. This is your Maz. This is Martin's Winkle. I'm Martin's Winkle. That's quite funny. And then Hohenzollern Bridge in Cologne. I hope my dad doesn't mind all these pictures. I don't have many pictures of myself. Yeah, he's got them. I need to get him to upload them here. And this is the view from the top of the cathedral. that you saw. So we were around there. It took us a good, I don't know, 20 minutes to climb. But yeah, all the way at the top there. You can't even see it from this angle. Yeah, so on the bridge in Hohenzollern, they've got 4 statues of some really important people in the Hohenzollern family. One of them is Wilhelm II, who gave my great grandmother's husband, who was a diplomat, gave him a medal. So that's quite nice. This is inside the church, the cathedral. Lots and lots of gold, lots and lots of silver, lots and lots of precious gems. And then this is all the paperwork. So this is like the wills and stuff from the families, from the family. I need to rotate them all. And all the seals, the wax seals, very official. Don't dox myself, yeah, if anyone can read this. And then we went to another place. So the Krupps, they built like a, what they call it, a villa, but it's not a villa, it's like a mansion. But they built this place, which is now on a museum and an archive. So they've got a bunch of documents. They've got a bunch of documents on the Waldhausen family, because the person that the archivist for the Krupps, he was actually the same person that the Waldhausens commissioned to do a bit of research. So they've got some of his research still. And he's got documents going back and forth. Oh, are you lagging? I'm just talking. Okay, good. So what was I saying? Yeah, the same person that curated this museum and archive for the Krupps. Also, he was commissioned by the Waldhausens to do a bit of research on the family. So he's got correspondence, letters that he wrote to people, and it was around 1930, late 1930s, and some of the letters that they're signing off has things like, oh, Heil Hitler, and it's got Nazi symbolism all over the letters and stuff. It was surreal. Yeah, out of context. But one of the letters, for example, said something like, it was great to hear from you. Based off of the Führer's speech last night, we might not see you again, so good luck. I hope everything goes well. So I'm assuming that might have been a speech just before the war broke out. And the guy he was speaking to must have been in the army or something. So it was pretty, yeah, heavy. Yeah. So this is the family tree that you put together. So we're here, where my dad's pointing to. We're the 16th generation in this tree. Well, I'm the 16th generation. There's other 16th generation people in this tree, but they're much older. Yeah, it's what, maybe like 3-4 meters long. Very interesting. And this is all the papers and documents that they had in the archive about the family. It was, yeah, but we got to see some nice sights. So this is on the grounds in Villa Hugo. The point was to do some research, but everywhere was closed the first 3 days. And then, what else? What is this? I think this is in Duisburg. Yeah, and then we went home. But as we were discovering things, we needed to get we needed to request more information from the archives in different towns and different cities. So it turns out this Uncle Hugo, he moved to a place called Wiesbaden. Which is the oldest spa town in Germany, I think, from what I remember. So this is probably where we're going to go next. This is probably Charlemagne. So I wasn't sure where Wiesbaden was, but it turns out that it's right next to our castle. That's the oldest spa town in Europe, not just Germany. Wow. Here we go, and here's our castle. So we're going to go visit the castle, and we're going to go visit where Hugo ran off with all of our great-grandfather's money. So that's the next trip. Maybe in August or something we'll go there. I'm hoping there's a piano in here somewhere. We didn't really know where we'd be day to day, because we were planning on traveling about a bit more, but we found so much information. Maybe next time we'll take it a bit slower, but yeah, we didn't have too much time. Yeah, maybe in August. But I don't think I'll take 2 weeks off in August, maybe just a week. Yeah, well, we need to go to Berlin, because that's where some of the family ended up going after the First World War broke out. They were living in London working for the German embassy. So when World War I broke out, some of them went back to Germany and some of them stayed in the UK. So we'll go say hi. Hopefully we can find their graves, at least. Find where they're buried. Hopefully they still exist. We found their death records. Yeah. We found their death records, so we know the address where they died. And the district where they were registered. I don't think there's any left. Not since the wars. I'm pretty sure the wars basically just, you know, I think it took a lot out of people and countries. Although I went and Googled this yesterday. So I think it said like 18 million German marks in early 1900. So 18 million German marks in 1908. Okay. So that's how much it cost to build the castle, but in gold. How much in gold? So they used, so their currency was tied to gold. Yeah, so they had 6,500 kilos of gold. That was to build the castle. That's another world. Crazy. I wonder how much it cost to build Villa Hugel. Because Villa Hugel had a bunker, so they must have known that something was about to happen. Yeah. Oh, it's much less. What about Big Bertha? Yeah, I'd probably do it for 30, 32 and a half. So there you go. That's what I was up to. Now I just need to learn how to play the piano again. It's all good. Thanks for asking. Or did you even ask? Thanks for listening. Yeah, I caught up on a lot of sleep. I slept until, well, maybe like 7 o'clock every day. That's an extra 3 hours. Extra 3 hours in bed. No, I'm back at work now. I've got, yeah. But at least I can get back to streaming, get back to a routine. Because I missed it. I do miss streaming, but getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning is just... bleh. Just for fun. Yeah, maybe. I think... Yeah, there wasn't... Where I was, it was weird. It was like very small townish. It wasn't like... Even though it was a bigger city than here, it didn't feel very metropolitan. Yeah, but it's... Yeah. Yeah, apart from us, yeah, true. But it was so weird because most of the buildings have been destroyed by the UK and I guess the Germans, etc. No, by the Americans. Yeah, I'm used to looking at old buildings, architecture that are hundreds of years old, and then going and I was kind of expecting a little bit of that in Germany, but yeah, most of the buildings were quite new. It was yeah, I felt kind of bad. And I can imagine, yeah, quite a lot of angry people angry at the Nazis for destroying their country. But this is the records office here. Wow. It's weird because part of the family did it and part of the family suffered from it. And then, I don't know if you know much about World War One, but some of the family came from Belgium as well. Belgium kind of got stuck in the middle of, you know, France, Germany, and the UK. So they suffered a lot as well. So yeah, a lot of people suffered. I'm not sure if anyone really thrived. War is not good. Yeah. No one wins. That's why you need to do these special military operations. That's when you win. Yeah, well, don't jinx it. I heard you guys got some good news. Your what's it called? Your work. I think your what is it? Your working week is now back. Well, is down to 40 hours. No? Fake news. No way, you're joking. We've been hearing lots of good stuff about oh okay. I wonder what they're making that delaying that for. They did the same with a bunch of stuff over here with tax laws. They end up raising taxes, but only in 5 years. 5 years' time, we'll raise the taxes. Will she even be in office in 2030? How is that legal? That you can do that? That you can make other people do things? Ah. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot of positive stuff from what she's doing over there. Hey. Frankie? Ah, interesting. So what is she doing it for all the way? Oh, it's gradual, is it? 46, 44, 42. Okay, well that's something. No? Instead of going from nothing to something. Really? How many hours do you work? Hey, international superstar. So next year, if you don't go down to 46, I guess you can complain. How you been, Frankie? Yeah. Okay, fine. 2 versus 1. How can you refute Google, though? You missed the family trip? I need to get pictures of me in here. But yeah, some really, really fun stuff, really interesting stuff we learned about the family. I don't know if I said this before. I'm sure I did. But we saw this grave on Wiki, and we were wondering whether the Christian on it could have been the Christian that we are related to. Wait, not this one. This one. We saw this picture years and years ago. And it's got a Christian down here. And it's got very, very similar dates to my Christian. But I was like, you know, I'm quite skeptical most of the time. So I was like, yeah, it'd be cool if it was our Christian, because then we've kind of got home, you know? But I'm not even sure if it still exists or if it's real or blah 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 blah. So when we saw it, or when I saw it, I just thought it was, yeah. I was like, what am I dreaming? Yeah. Because it was getting to the point where I was like, I don't even know if if I'm just imagining some of this or whether it's true. But obviously they're still looking after it, because they cut back some of the trees and then cleared out all the leaves, etc., etc. So there's someone still looking after it. And these statues here, they're massive. They're bigger than me. Just. So yeah, very proud of my ancestors. Apart from the Nazi stuff. But I guess they didn't really get a choice back then. And I'm sure they were doing it reluctantly. Not much has changed here either. Still practicing the same bit. Still making the same mistakes. I've got more pointers from my music teacher, who says I need to play better. No, he says I need to emphasize these accents a little bit better. Yeah, I don't think there is in Christian cult. Well, there might be, I don't know. It's not common, I don't think. So there was this one, and then there was another statue. The Krupp statue was a bit weird as well. If I zoom in, you can make it out. Maybe not. Let's see. So there was an angel on that one as well, and it had some sort of torch that it put out. I can't zoom in. Here we go. Maybe. Yeah. So there's another one here. So we weren't sure who this is meant to be, or who this is meant to be. But they've got this torch. It looks like that's upside down, and they're snuffing out the flame, which was some interesting symbolism that my dad noticed. So I guess they're snuffing out this per person's flame with some wreaths. But this guy's the Cannon King, the guy that founded the company that built Big Bertha. Pretty impressive. I think it's all marble as well. Marble and granite. It's huge. Oh, okay. What happened? social movement to defend Mexican sovereignty. But it was foreign influence, oh. Oh, they weren't a big fan of the Jews. I don't know why Jewish people seem to get so much stick. I guess people are just gonna find any reason to hate someone. Yeah, we all come from the Middle East, though. Yeah, so it's problematic everywhere, I guess. The cradle of civilization. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Although that's probably very, I don't know, very Western version of the cradle of civilization. You guys might have your own. Maybe your cradle is like the Easter Islands. Are you saying that's the Jews? Maybe that's a defense mechanism. Like narcissists. Yeah, true, true. Very wise. Just fight with yourself. Getting there. Does he win or he just doesn't lose? Hey, I think that was the best one so far. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna need to go soon. But it's good to be back. Maybe I didn't forget as much as I thought. Yeah, but if I go today, I'll be fitter, healthier. Hopefully happier. What is that song? Faster, stronger, smarter, harder, blah blah blah. Escape artist superpowers at the gym. Maybe. Hmm. I need to practice that bit. Oh. Yeah. If only I could probably do leg press at the same time. Renawade. What's that? Very emotionally renewed. I just realized you can't see the piano. There you go. That's better. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was burning out or burnt out. Don't think I'm fully recovered yet, but still. Hmm. Okay. I go. It's good to be back. It's good to see you again. We've got another few weeks of this, and then I'll go on holiday again. To the spa town of Wiesbaden. There. Meh. Okay. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Adios. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for dropping in.